Hi, I'm Marshall Brain, and welcome back to part 4 of the Time Capsule video project. As you'll recall from part 1, I am trying to create a time capsule that shows what life for a typical American was like back in 2010. Today we're going to talk about the gadgets that a typical American in 2010 would own. These are typical gadgets that you'd find around any American household in 2010. These first two items are cell phones. You use them for making phone calls to other people. You typically carry this in your pocket or in your purse. This is called an iPod Touch. It's a little mini computer and music player. These are digital cameras. They take two-dimensional still photographs of things. They can also take little movies. This is called a GPS receiver. It's a global positioning system receiver. It tells you where you are on the planet and can give you directions to any other place on the planet. It'll give you actual driving directions along the roads that we have in the United States. This is called a cordless phone. It is what we use around the house for making telephone calls. And then this is a laptop computer. We can just go through each of these gadgets one by one. These are cell phones. Cell phones are probably the most popular gadgets on the planet in 2010. Billions of people around the world have them. Each one has its own unique number, and you can see there's a little keypad here. Just by dialing a 7-digit number or a 10-digit number or a 13-digit number, you can get to any person who has a cell phone on the planet. Most houses also have a phone of some sort, usually a landline phone, and so every house and business has a unique number as well. To make a call, you would just get it activated, and I'll just call the house phone over there. You just dial the number in by pressing the buttons and say talk, and that phone over there should ring, assuming that it all works the way it's supposed to work. You can see there's a slight delay. There it rings. So if I were to click this talk button, one phone is talking to the other phone, and that's all it does. There's no video conferencing, there's no other magic. You just have two devices that are able to send voice from one to the other in a direct connection like that. David's phone has this little keyboard on it. He can type text messages on the keyboard easily and send them to his friends. This is called an iPod Touch. It's kind of a very small computer that fits into your pocket, and you can use it as a music player. You can use it as a web browser. It'll connect to the internet and let you look at web pages. And it also has these little things called apps that you can use. For example, this is a weather app. It tells you that it's 19 degrees outside right now, Fahrenheit, and it'll give you a little forecast for what the weather is going to be like in the coming days. There's all kinds of apps, thousands and thousands of apps you can get for an iPod Touch that will let you do all kinds of stuff. You can get stock quotes, you can get maps, you can play games. It's a very popular device made by a company called Apple Computer. Digital cameras let you take two-dimensional pictures, so you turn the camera on with that little round button, and on the back you get a display that shows you what you're going to take a picture of. So you say, well, I want to take a picture of this phone over here, so you push the button and it takes a picture and stores it on a little memory card, which we'll look at in a minute. This is a 10 megapixel camera. It has 10 million pixels that it records onto the memory card for each picture. The memory card might hold about 800 pictures. You can see it's saying that it'll hold 791. You can also take little movies with it. It's the same kind of thing. It does exactly the same stuff, but it's a 12 megapixel camera. You can see down here.
Lost satellite reception.
Now that was the GPS unit talking to us. GPS units don't work very well inside houses because they get their signals through this antenna here from satellites that are 11,000 miles up in orbit, and the satellites just can't transmit through the ceiling of a house. So we, you can see, are currently located along the lake here, and you can type into this any address that you want to go to and it'll give you instructions, and it can talk to you in a computer voice kind of way and tell you turn right at the next corner, and it'll take you where you want to go. These have only been around as mainstream products for a couple years, but they make it much easier to drive in America. The cordless phone is a little bit like a cell phone, except that it works inside a house or a business. So I'll show you, it has a base unit and it transmits a little radio signal back and forth between the base unit and allows you to make phone calls. A cell phone is a little different. This phone is communicating with radio signals to a cell phone tower that's located a mile or two away from here. This is a cell phone tower in Durham, North Carolina, about 20 miles away from here. You can see they've dressed it up to look like a pine tree, sort of, but it's about twice as big as any normal pine tree, and it looks kind of ridiculous. This is a laptop computer. It is a very common device in America. Probably everybody in America just about has either a laptop or a desktop computer in their home. It is a screen combined with a keyboard, combined with a little pointing device or a mouse. It has a DVD drive that you saw in part 2. It has a little memory card slot here, so after you take your pictures with your digital camera, you can open it up and pop out the memory card. This one holds 2 gigabytes of data. You plug it in to this little memory card slot, and the laptop computer will recognize it and pop up a little screen so that you can pull the photographs off of it. By far, the most common reason to own a laptop is to access the internet, also known as the World Wide Web. The web is a fairly recent phenomenon. The first web browser, which is the tool we use to access the web in 2010, was released in 1993. By 2000, the web had become hugely popular. Now in 2010, the web has already transformed the music industry, and it's in the process of transforming newspapers, books, television, shopping, and so on. I thought it would be helpful to show you how we used the web in 2010 by showing you 5 of the most popular websites in 2010. So I went to a website called Alexa.com and had it show me the top sites. You can see the list on these 2 screenshots. The number 1 website today is called Google.com. It's a search engine. That means that Google has spidered the web, loading a copy of billions of web pages onto its servers and forming a database of all the text words it can find on those pages. So let's say that I want to learn about car engines. I go to Google, type in the words car engine, and Google will show me a list of pages that talk about car engines. The first article listed here is at a website called HowStuffWorks.com, so I click on the title and I can see the page at How Stuff Works. You can type anything into Google and it will show you pages to visit. The second most popular site today is called Facebook.com. It's called a social media site. You go to Facebook and tell it who your friends are. Facebook keeps a list of your friends and makes it easy for you to send messages to them, chat with them, write articles for them to read, and so on. The third most popular site is YouTube.com. YouTube lets anyone upload videos and lets anyone else watch the videos for free. I have uploaded these time capsule videos to YouTube. I can then embed the videos into a text web page like I have here on MarshallBrain.com. People watch something like 1 billion videos a day on YouTube right now.
Google owns YouTube. YouTube and the other websites like it will probably transform the way people watch TV shows and movies in the United States over the next several years. The number 4 and number 5 websites are Yahoo and Microsoft Live, and they're similar to Google. Number 6 is Wikipedia. Wikipedia is an encyclopedia, a giant collection of articles describing people, places, and things in a factual way. Wikipedia is written by its audience. In theory, anyone can change an article or add information to it on Wikipedia, so Wikipedia grows and changes every day. And finally, there's Blogger. Blogger is a place where people create blogs. A blog is a collection of articles, usually updated daily or weekly. Anyone can create a blog on Blogger for free, so there are millions of blogs on every possible topic. Popular blogs can turn into businesses in 2010. Blogger is also owned by Google. Once again, I'm bumping into YouTube's time limit, so I'll continue this video on gadgets in the next installment.